Welcome back. Just about 8:46 on this Friday. Could your online relationship really be a scam? As we head into Valentine's Day weekend, the FBI is warning about romance scams, and believe it or not, romance scams are real and quite common, unfortunately. Joining us now from the FBI's Minneapolis field office is Supervisory Special Agent Steve Eppley. Steve, good morning to you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thanks a lot for having me on the show this morning to share this important topic that all of us in law enforcement and in the community are very interested in because of all of the victims that it can impact.
Sure. Yeah, as you head up the FBI's Financial Crime Squad here in Minneapolis, what exactly, for those of us who are wondering, what are romance scams?
Sure. So a romance scam is essentially an impersonation scam. It's where a fraudster pretends to be someone that they're not in the event of a romance scam in order to gain the trust of someone in order to eventually steal their money. An impersonation scam is very similar to the jury duty scams you hear about, the lottery scams that we hear about. So it's the same kind of scam like that, except in the romance scam, the fraudsters are exploiting those emotions of love, trustworthiness, compassion in order to gain a strong emotional connection with their victim. And in time, what happens is that relationship goes down into the fraudster asking the victim to send money or receive money. So it's a very exploitive relationship. It's terrible. It's a devastating if you are the victim of a romance scam.
Yeah, we talk about the lowest of the lows for people who
Definitely.
would do this to some unsuspecting person. Is there a specific type of person who's falling victim to this kind of scam?
Victims can be anyone, any age group, any gender. Typically, the complaints that we see here tend to be older individuals. Sadly, individuals who maybe are recently divorced or who have recently lost a loved one. So very vulnerable individuals. Older people especially are a lucrative target for these types of fraudsters. Older people, again, tend to be home a lot during the day. They're retired. They have access to a phone. If they're fortunate enough, they have quite a nest egg that they've built up through the years that fraudsters tend to exploit.
Right. We know that this is happening. Do we know who these scammers are?
They're heartless criminals, for one.
Yeah.
A lot of these scams tend to generate. They're overseas. They're overseas based. They can be anywhere from a lone wolf to a sophisticated criminal organization. A lot of times, the fraudsters will use the identity, a stolen identity or a fake identity of somebody who's working overseas, such as somebody in the military, someone working on an oil rig, or a doctor or a nurse doing humanitarian work overseas. But again, these criminals are very smart. They toy with the emotions of victims to build on that emotional connection with them.
Well, and we know a lot of people have been isolated because of COVID. That hasn't helped. What are some of the obvious red flags people need to look out for regarding these romance scams?
Sure. Getting strange friend requests on your social media accounts, it could be a red flag. If you do end up friending one of these people, if they share all of the same commonalities and likes as you do, if they seem too perfect, they probably are. If they propose marriage to you within a short period of time without ever meeting you, that could be a red flag. If they insist on communicating with you via text or email only and not talking on the phone or not doing a video chat, that could be a sign. If they ask you to send money, if they ask you to receive money, if they ask you for Bitcoin or gift cards, those are all red flags that you probably are involved in an online scam, romance scam.
Right. Well, all important information, and as you said, just the poor people who are the victims to this. It's just a terrible thing here. Agent Eppley, thanks for joining us with shedding light onto this issue of romance scams. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. To learn more about online scams, you can visit FBI.gov, and if you think you've been victimized, visit IC3.gov. That's IC3.gov to report exactly what happened. So hopefully it doesn't happen to someone else.